Take this opportunity to turn off all electronic devices. Food and beverages are not permitted in the theater. Please note the location of all exits and keep aisles clear at all times. Thank you for your cooperation.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Please direct your attention to the start of our procession, led by our mace bearer, Dr. Francis Moran, President of the New Jersey City University Senate. Let's give a warm round of applause to our NJCU Multi-Style Strings Ensemble. That was beautiful. NJCU Gothic Night students, provost, deans, faculty, board of trustees, administrators, military veterans, alumni, distinguished guests, family, and friends, we welcome you to the 2022 Convocation. You may be seated. We especially want to welcome our incoming freshman class of 2022 and congratulate you as you begin your first semester of college. The NJCU community looks forward to having you cross the commencement stage along with our continuing students throughout the next 4 years. To all of our students, we applaud your dedication and your commitment and wish you much success this semester. At this time, it is my honor to introduce to you our Provost and Senior Vice President, Dr. Tamara Joshi, who will bring remarks. Dr. Joshi.
Thank you so much, Tamara. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome, welcome class of 2026. How are you feeling? It's the second week of class. How's it going? Is it easy? Is it hard? Are you nervous? Well, I hope you're a little nervous because that's a good sign. And I am just delighted to see everyone here. I welcome the students, the faculty. I'm so happy to see our faculty returning to campus after this summer, staff and friends of NJCU. Welcome, welcome. So everyone is settling into new schedules, new routines, and the new beginnings of an academic year. And I hope, warmly hope, that this year will bring you new discoveries, new passions, and new ways of looking at the world. We're very excited to gather today as a community to share the start of your journey together and to say, you belong. You are now a student scholar, and we are very, very glad to have you at NJCU. So, what exactly is a convocation? First of all, what does the word convocation itself mean? Well, it comes from the word convene, meaning to come together. And why do we celebrate this occasion on a college campus? Well, to answer that, we have to travel back to as early as the 12th century in the earliest universities in Europe. And from that point forward, the tradition began in the academy to mark the beginning of fall semester for new students. Faculty are wearing their regalia, and believe me, it's hot up here with the lights in these robes. But we wear the regalia as a symbol and a signal that we've devoted ourselves to a life of learning and scholarship. And so we mark this special rite of passage with you as we robe for the occasion. And you don't have regalia yet, students, but you will. When you walk across the stage 4 years from now, when we see you at commencement, you will be also wearing the symbol of achievement of education. So, convocation and commencement are like two bookends. We celebrate your beginning, and we look forward to celebrating with you at the end of your time here at NJCU at graduation. And you will get there. It seems like a far-off goal right now. You just started this journey, but I assure you it will come faster than you expect. So as we embark on this academic year, I encourage you to think about two things as you explore your classes and find your passion. The first is curiosity. Curiosity about the world fuels almost every human endeavor. We feel it every day. We get up in the morning and we wonder, what will the day bring? What will traffic be like? And I kind of answer that now with 440 being under construction. I know what the traffic will be like, but I still wonder, can I get there under time? Will it be overtime? We wonder about the top news stories of the day. What will my professors say in class today? We're curious all the time. And college is a time when you can follow your curiosity in ways that push your boundaries. Asking why and how, those questions are powerful tools in advancing your learning and the important foundation of your critical thinking skills and problem-solving skills. Great inventors, scientists, and artists are sparked by that inner voice, that curiosity that asks why and how. Curiosity is the catalyst that drives and motivates us. So students, please take time to listen to that inner voice and see where it takes you. The second item that I wanted to share with you is challenge. Don't be afraid to go outside your comfort zone. Take hard classes. Take a class in something outside your major that seems complex and challenging. In pushing beyond what comes easy for you, you will learn so much about yourself. You'll learn about your resilience and your capacity to keep learning and to keep absorbing. Have the courage to challenge yourself and have the courage to failure. Failure is never fun, but success is paved with the stones of failure. If you don't take a risk, you may never discover the power of transformation. Grades are something to strive for, yes, we all acknowledge that. But keep attention to that inner voice that we all have that says, I can do this. I can do this. It's a challenge, but I will do this. And I have felt this my entire life. I have been in higher education several decades now. And every time I get up to speak, I'm a little nervous. But I think, I can do this, and I will do this. So if the introvert standing before you can do this, you can do anything. Challenging ourselves is the best part of learning, and that will stay with you your entire life. Have the courage to seek out your professors. Ask for help from all the people that provide services at NJCU. I cannot tell you how wonderful the staff are at NJCU. These are the best group of people in the world, from the librarians, the academic advisors, the tutors in the hub, the fantastic new Career Success Lab, which is located in Gross Nickel Hall. You should visit and keep that in mind your first year. Your OTC instructors, and really every single one of us on campus. We're here for your success and the growth of each of you as student scholars, and even more importantly, as human beings. So in conclusion, as we celebrate Convocation today and the rituals from centuries ago that bind us, think about curiosity, challenge, and also a third C, and that's community. You are part of the NJC community. We have your back. We want your success. Think in new ways. Push yourself to ask questions in class and beyond, and never fear the challenge of learning new things. Class of 2026, welcome and good luck.
Thank you, Dr. Joshi. At this time, it gives me great pleasure to welcome Tyquel Halley. Tyquel is a senior majoring in political science, and he is the president of the Student Government Association. Please help me in welcoming Tyquel.
Good afternoon, everyone. Nah, that was weak. Let's try that one again. Good afternoon, everyone. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Greetings to President Kroll, members of administration and the board, special guests, staff, faculty, and most of all, students. I think it's safe to say that these past few years have been real. All of us have faced some difficulties, stressful moments, and unfortunately, long nights. Both inside and outside the classroom, whether you're a new student here, you've been virtual for the past year or two, or this is your senior year and you're preparing to graduate. We all have been through some tough days, challenging assignments, and hard tasks to complete. At times, you may have felt like giving up, throwing in the towel, and just walking away. But you didn't. You kept on going. You persevered, and most importantly, you made it this far to this moment to be right here today. Students, I commend each and every one of you for staying the course, remaining dedicated, and continuing to work hard. Life happens, and unfortunately, not everyone who started this journey with you is here today. But you, despite the obstacles, despite the hurdles and setbacks life threw at us, we are blessed to have the opportunity to be enrolled in college as first-generation students, students coming from low-income households and single-family households, veteran students and students who are parents, and a host of other things. And we get to walk across this campus with our heads held high. Why with our heads held high? Because outside these doors is a world full of greatness that's just waiting for us. And when you get out there, you can now say that those tests which seem to be difficult are now testimonies that we made it. Those days you felt like a mess is now a message that you have survived. And all the times you had trials after trials, you can walk out those doors feeling triumphant. Let me tell you, everything we've been through these past few years was for a reason. Every single thing. Yes, there was a reason for all the stress, a reason for all the pressure and the headaches we went through. It was necessary to have these experiences. Why? Because these experiences has equipped us and given us the tools that we need to become the brilliant minds that will one day rule this city, reshape this nation, and lead the world. We had to go through some things in order to reach greatness waiting for us. Greatness such as what Dr. King called a promised land. Beyond this school, outside of these four walls, there's a promised land that's waiting for each and every one of us. This promised land is a place that victory is destined, a place where achievement is bound to happen, and a place where success will only be an understatement. Even if you don't know what it is you want just yet, there's three things I want you to remember. Believe in yourself. Trust the process, and you will find your purpose. The real world isn't any easier than college. But as I look out into the audience, you know what I see? I see people who will not be deterred. You know what I see? I see unstoppable young men and women. You know what I see? I can already see the immense influence you will have on this world. I see doctors, I see lawyers, I see archaeologists, I see scientists, I see everything that you aspire to be. It's sitting right there. Everything that you need to be successful is already inside of you, sitting in these seats today. And don't stop until you reach whatever your promised land is. But while we work our way to get to greatness, there's something we must do, and that's simply to remember your why. Members of administration and board, what is your why? Staff and faculty, what is your why? Students, what is your why? What is your why? Why did you get out of bed this morning? Why did you eat what you ate? Why did you wear what you wore? Why did you come here? What is your why? Life is about living it to the fullest. And we're here on this campus at NJCU to learn, to find ourselves, to study abroad, to compete athletically, to get internships and jobs, and to be innovative. And how do we do that? By remembering our why. Why we do what we do, who we do it for, and how it gets done. because it won't always be easy, but we're doing it for a reason. Ask yourself what that why is and hold on to it. Yes, we can, yes, we will, and yes, we are NJCU. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you so much, Tyquel. At this time, I would like to recognize our newly promoted and tenured faculty. If you are here, would you stand to be recognized? These individuals exemplify the academic excellence at NJCU, and I want to thank you for your dedication and commitment to scholarship, teaching, and service. We must also recognize our retirees. If we have retired faculty with us, would you please stand as well to be recognized? Thank you, too, for your steadfast commitment to this university and for paving the path for future generations. In the past year, the university community has grown a bit smaller by the passing of esteemed colleagues and students. Would you join me in a moment of silence to honor their memory? Thank you. A university cannot function without professors. They are at the heart of student success, but there are professors who are special. They dedicate their professional lives to advancing the disciplines through their scholarly pursuits. They serve as ambassadors of goodwill within the university and beyond, and as teachers, engage the next generation to see beyond themselves and to serve others. This year, we will honor 2 retired faculty, and their bios are in the program, conferring upon them the title of Professor Emeritus. I would like now to introduce the Associate Dean of the William J. Maxwell College of Arts and Sciences, Dr. Jason Martinek, to come to the podium and begin the award ceremony for our Professor Emerita.
Thank you, Provost Joshi. Today, we recognize Professor Winifred McNeil, who taught at NJCU in the art department for more than 25 years. She's part of a generation of extraordinary women who joined the faculty ranks in the 1990s and who have left an indelible impact, not only on our students, but also on young faculty members like me who were coming up through the ranks after them. Yeah, I was young once. Just last week, I attended the opening of Extraordinary Still Life at the NJCU Gallery. While there, I had the opportunity to speak with an alum who was participating in the show. When asked about her NJCU experience, she had special praise for Professor McNeil, exclaiming, "She taught me everything I know about teaching art." There is an army of art teachers in New Jersey. Sounds a bit ominous. There's an army of art teachers in New Jersey who share this sentiment, underscoring the mastery with which Professor McNeil oversaw the art teacher certification program. Professor McNeil has been and continues to be a vital part of the art scene in New Jersey and New York. Her work has been shown in national and international exhibitions, and she has participated in several residencies, including one in China and one in the Netherlands. She showed off her work from a residency in the Netherlands at the juried show last year at Jersey City's Art Fair 14C. I got a chance to check out her exhibit at the art fair. As excited as she was to walk me through her pieces, she was even more excited to introduce me to NJCU alums so they could show off their work. In these interactions, I saw more clearly than ever before what Professor McNeil has meant to NJCU. She's a phenomenal colleague and an even more phenomenal mentor. Without doubt, her legacy is secure. Congratulations, Professor McNeil.
Congratulations, Professor McNeil. Now I would like to introduce the Dean of the Deborah Cannon Partridge Wolf College of Education, Dr. Donna Brault, to continue the award ceremony for our next Professor Emerita.
Thank you, Provost Joshi. Today, we recognize Dr. Fran Levin. Dr. Fran Levin joined the Literacy Education Department in 1996 after completing her PhD from Rutgers University Graduate School of Education. Her first book, The Guide for Alternate Route Teachers, was published in 2008 by Pearson Education. This book focused on issues faced by all beginning teachers. The book was so well received that a second edition to the book was published in 2012. Her second book, Introduction to Teaching, was published in 2010 by Pearson Education. This book was an accompaniment to the course curriculum she wrote for the New Jersey Department of Education Office of Teacher Licensure. This curriculum was used by all alternate route teachers seeking New Jersey certification. Dr. Levin was passionate about literacy education. Among her many achievements as co-chair of the Literacy Education Department, she wrote the degree program for interdisciplinary studies, literacy studies. She also served as lead on a $330,000 grant creating the Common Core Academy at New Jersey City University, a series of professional development workshops accompanied by in-class support and a summer institute. Throughout her remarkable career, Dr. Levin believed that effective curriculum and good teaching leads school-age students to success. Dr. Levin continues to serve the community as a docent at the Center for Holocaust, Human Rights, and Genocide in Monmouth County. Her dedication to service and academic success exemplifies NJCU's commitment to excellence.
Congratulations to Dr. Levin and Dr. McNeil. And now we will hear the musical selection, New World, from Jason Robert Brown's song for a New World performed by the NJCU Musical Theater Workshop with the Multi-Style Strings Ensemble, AJ Chaffo on drums, and Mark Dalio on piano. Please help me welcome them.
New world calls across about one moment, the moment before it all becomes clear. And in that one moment, you start to believe there's nothing to fear. It's about 1 second. And just when you're on the verge of success, the sky starts to change and the wind starts to blow.
And oh, you're suddenly a stranger. There's no explaining where you stand. You didn't know that you sometimes have to go round an unexpected bend, and the road will end in a new
world calls for me to follow. A new world waits for my reply. A new world holds me to a promise. Standing by. It's about one moment. The moment you think you're sure where you stand, but in that one moment, the things that you're sure of slip from your hands, and you've got 1 second. The things that you're sure of slip from your hands, and the skies start to change, and the wind starts to blow. And oh, you're suddenly a stranger in some completely different land. And you thought you knew, but you didn't have a clue that the surface sometimes cracks to reveal the tracks to a new world.
You find a lover you sure you believe in.
You're gonna pull in the band.
Hold the ring in your hand.
But when the earthquake hits, the vein closes in.
Then you realize you didn't know anything. Nobody told you.
And you have to stay till you somehow find a way to be sure of what will be. A new world crashes down like thunder. A new world charging through the air. A new world
lovely performance. Can we give them another round of applause? They deserve it. New Jersey City University is honored to welcome Dr. Simone Hyater-Adams as this year's convocation speaker. Dr. Simone Hyater-Adams is a physicist, artist, educator, and researcher from Pennsauken, New Jersey. With a passion for performance arts, physics, and equity, she has dedicated her career to creating more opportunity for Black STEM students. Are there any STEM students in the house? After receiving her BS in physics from Hampton University, she pursued her graduate studies at the Atlas Institute from the University of Colorado Boulder, where she was a National Science Foundation Graduate Research Fellow. In her graduate research, she used her personal experiences from pursuing physics to guide her interdisciplinary research that examined the connections between performance art and identity for Black physicists. This work was awarded the Harry Lustig Award from the American Physical Society's Four Corners section. Currently, she is working to build out the alumni programs at STEM from Dance, an organization that aims to expose young girls of color to STEM fields using the confidence-building aspects of dance. In addition to her work with STEM from Dance, Simone consults on various projects of interest at the intersection of equity, STEM, and education. Simone is also a performance artist who pursues many forms of art, such as dance, spoken word, and music. Please help me welcome to the podium Dr. Simone Hyater-Adams.
All right. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello. There we go. I have the hand mic because I like to move around when I talk. So thank you so much for the lovely introduction, the lovely performances, and thank you for inviting me here today. I'm really excited to chat with you all a little bit about myself and my journey, and leave you with some tidbits from what I've learned. But before we dive in, we've been sitting, and I think, at least for my sake, it would be really good if we could all center ourselves in the moment, just for a second. So please indulge me. And let's maybe start by closing our eyes and taking a deep breath in through the nose and out again through the nose. Whew, I felt my shakes get out. Maybe shake, maybe stand up, maybe stretch, whatever you need to do to feel a little bit better after sitting for a while. I'd love for you to do it. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. I made it easy for y'all. Usually I have y'all getting up, doing all types of stuff, but y'all look comfortable. So I want to start by asking you to speak to your neighbor. But first, I want you to reflect on your experiences. For the last 4 years, I think many of you are first-year students. Some are students in life, hopefully all. I want you to think about the last 4 years, and in your brain, bring up one thing you wish you did that you did not do in the last 4 years of your life. I'm gonna give you 20 seconds, think about it. Quality. All right, that wasn't 20 seconds, but you're done. Okay. Keep that in your brain. The second thing I want you to think about is one thing you wish you knew 4 years ago. One thing you wish you did that you didn't do. One thing you wish you knew. Cue the music. Lovely. Thank you. Look at that, impromptu performances. Y'all got some talent. Okay, now what I want you to do is turn to the person on your left. If you don't have that, whoever's next to you, and tell them you're 1 and 2. You're gonna get another couple seconds to do that. No music necessary. I think the thing I wish I knew was that I could be even more intentional with my life if I wanted to. Right. I'm going to bring you back in a few seconds, so wrap up those convos. Y'all got yours? I didn't hear no talking. All right, I'd love to bring you back. Thank you. Thank you so much for indulging me in that. I ask you to think about these things because there's one of these things that I wish I knew, one of the things I wish I did was maybe take just a little bit more time to be present, to slow down, to be more intentional, breathe, take it in. So I'm hoping you got like a real few seconds to maybe do a bit of that right now. So I'm going to tell you a bit about my journey that'll give you some clues into why maybe I say that. I come from, as you heard, Pennsauken, New Jersey. Shout out all the Jersey people since this is Jersey. I come from a family of musicians. My parents are both musicians. I think they're watching right now. Hey, mama. And I went into physics. I got excited about physics when I was in high school, but after learning what it was, realized that I had been excited about it my whole life and just didn't know. That's what it was, I should say. I didn't know that's what it was. And then I went to Hampton University to study it. I remember telling my mother that I was gonna do that, and she just kind of looked at me like, why physics? Like, what's up with that? Little background knowledge, I was going for musical theater up until like junior year. I'm like, we are looking for musical theater schools all over. What are we gonna do? I'm gonna be on stage somewhere. And then I was like, you know what, psych, I'm gonna go for physics. And she was just like, what? And the reason why is because I was inspired by being able to answer a bunch of questions about the world. It just took me by force. I was like, wow, like this is amazing. And you know, physics is a thing I realized I was good at in my high school classes that seemed really rare. I just went with the flow. That put me on a whole pathway that I didn't realize would lead me here to this day with my PhD. I went to Hampton. I ended up kind of getting scholarships and things. I was one of those students who were always looking for money. So I'm like, you got a scholarship, you got my application. And one great thing about going to a kind of smaller school, similar to here, is that there's a lot of people who are around who have your back. They are usually people who know you, what you can bring to the table, and can offer you very specific opportunities. And that's what happened to me. I was kind of picked. They were like, hey, you should apply for that scholarship. It's $1,000. I was like, say less. Threw my application in, got it. What I didn't realize what this scholarship came with was a whole opportunity to learn how to do research. So if you are not a scientist, a lot of scientists do research in the lab, but there's also a lot of scientific research that happens outside of the lab. So I just was thrown into this, and they pay you. I hope you all know. Students get paid to do research in universities. So I'm like a freshman, I'm like living off of loans. They're like, I'll give you $600 a month to like sit behind this computer and learn how to code this thing. I was like, yes, absolutely. And so I went on that path, ended up doing research freshman year. That led me to a position at NASA. A direct connection from that research group led me to a position at NASA with someone who I actually wasn't sure I was interested in knowing, right? But eventually found out that this person was doing exactly what I think I wanted to do with my life, education, research. So that unintentional path that started my journey got me here, but imagine all the other things I might have been able to get into if I had tried to hone in some more intention. Take a minute, like, I'll tell you one thing, that first research position I had, hated it. I was like, oh my gosh, I never want to code a computer again. I just don't, coding was not my thing. If you like coding, shout out to y'all. Never been my thing, never been my thing. But, like I said, got me to that research position. So after this NASA position, I learn about physics education research. I go to the University of Colorado Boulder for grad school, and I go into this interdisciplinary field. This is when my intention started to become more clear. I had a decision between a traditional physics program and a program where I could explore connections between physics and anything because it was interdisciplinary, and I chose that path instead. What that gave me was access to physics spaces, but also access to any other space that I chose. And so what did I do? I took classes in dance. I took classes in ethnic studies. I took classes in the School of Education. I did all of these things, and then I came back and applied it to my physics work. So what was that, you ask? My physics work is all about what it means to be a physicist. Physics identity is what they call it. It's kind of a funny thing because, looking back at this, having an identity as your profession, I don't know how I feel about that. But it's what I decided to look into for my graduate studies. I was interested in how we think about what it means to be a physicist, how we think, or what we think that is, because, when you think of a physicist, do you think of me? Y'all quiet, that sounds like a no. That sounds like a no. You don't think of a person like me who has parents who were musicians, who spent her life on stage, who's a Black woman, right? And so my research was all about, hey, do Black folks think of themselves as physicists differently than others, than the majority? And what I came out with was yes, absolutely. Shockingly, many Black folks, even if they are like standard traditional physicists, don't even consider themselves that. And so it makes me think a lot about how we see ourselves, what self-actualization process we go through, and why is that important? Well, we learned it's important because if you don't see yourself as a physicist, you're not going to pursue it. And what are we trying to do? Really diversify the STEM fields, including physics. And so many people are interested in finding out, how do we develop this in people? But a lot of what I researched was that, a person has to come up with their own creative version of what a physicist is. We need to push the boundaries. We need to redefine it for ourselves. And that's what I work to do every single day in my career. So, getting back to my story, I went from Hampton University. Anyone heard of Hampton University before? All right, HU. The real HU, I heard that. Hampton University, if you don't know, is a historically black college. Disregard my sweat, y'all. I'm a hot lady. Hot girl. There is it is a small, historically black college in Virginia. It is, of course, mostly black folks. Thank you. And I then went from that to Boulder, Colorado. Anyone been to Boulder, Colorado? A couple of hands. Not shocking. Boulder, Colorado? Okay, Boulder, Colorado is an 80% white town. The university is also 80% white. It is a large campus, completely different culture. It was one of the biggest culture shocks of my life. I think grad school might have been one of the hardest periods I've gone through, where I had to face imposter syndrome. I had to face trying to find a community of people who actually liked discrimination in many ways. There were professors. I have gone through situations where professors were attacking me and my work, right? And many people, especially people of color who have gone through academia, have gone through all of these types of things. And what sits with me from that experience is how much it impacted who I was. I remember me in Hampton, I was that student who the professor would be at the front, and I'd be like, hold up, stop writing, stop. Get up out my seat. Come back here. We're over here in the problem, right? That's where we're all stuck. Let's figure it out. That was me at Hampton. My first year at CU Boulder, I remember at some point in my physics class I was taking my first semester, sitting in the corner being like, in my head, why am I here? Why am I here? Why am I here? Why am I here? I might as well just leave. Why am I here? I never went back to class after that day. A completely different me, completely different person. My identity as a physicist was stripped from one class. I was the star student at Hampton in my department. And that shift in who I was is still one of the most impactful experiences of my life. So since then, I've been building myself back up, my physics identity, my sense of value in science. And it's, up and down. Because I'm not in a lab researching anymore, it's very hard to think of yourself as a scientist. However, I very much so identify as a physicist, okay? Anyone who tries to call me not, I'll be like, well, my work is published in a physics journal, peer-reviewed. My community is the physics community. Physicists know me. Ask a physicist, they'll be like, yeah, heard of her. That is my community. I am a physicist. That is my identity. Even though now I work at a nonprofit and I'm doing nonprofit work. And I think that is very important, and me identifying like that is a political statement, because I am trying to show everyone else that you can be a scientist and advocate for science and do all types of science and not just be that nerdy, one-dimensional version of who a physicist, who a scientist is. And I'm really, really passionate about that. I want to show every student, no matter their color and creed, but especially Black students, that it is possible. And you can be me, okay? So, I'm gonna wrap y'all up for 1 second and just kind of pull out some of the messages I hope you'll take home with you. The first one is that failure can be a gift. Really maybe cheesy saying, but I will say that every single time I didn't get that thing that I wanted, every single time that I feel like I failed, it was for a real good reason. Real good reason that became very apparent later. So don't break yourself down because of it. As you start this journey, your identity is going to continue to evolve. It's going to mold. Who you are and how you see yourself is going to change throughout time. So make it fun. Experiment, you know? Try something new. Be a new person tomorrow. Why not? You know? I went to Boulder. I became a whole spoken word artist, y'all, okay? Never wrote a word of spoken word in my life, okay? I went up there, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do spoken word now. Wrote some poems, went to an open mic. They were loving it. They're like, oh, wow, who's this new lady? Like, oh my, never did that before in my life. Have not done it since Boulder, okay? That was just who I was there. That was the Simone and Boulder, okay? Have fun. And last, make your own rules. You're here in this new environment. You are your best advocate. And, you know, hope y'all don't get mad, but rules are suggestions. Anything is possible. Anything is possible. Do not let someone tell you that you have to do something this way because that's how it's supposed to be done. There are exceptions for every person, and you just need to find yours. So remember that. Advocate for yourself. And in those moments, when you feel lost, when you feel defeated, when you feel like, why am I here? You know? Make sure you have somewhere a plan, a person, a resource, a reminder that will pull you back into yourself. I did not have that. I didn't. It was very hard. I had to go through a large internal reflection process. And I had to get some other things that gave me some reassurance externally to get myself back to who I am today. So try and set yourself up now, because those days will come. So I'm going to end with an I am poem. I love these. I know you can Google it, I am poem. Maybe you can even make up your own while we're here. There's 4 prompts. I am, I want, I dream, and I hope. And I've been writing these ever since I discovered them, just to kind of check in with me in that moment. So I wrote one for you today. And it is, I am an artist. I want happiness. I dream for balance. And I hope that I find it soon. Thank you all. Thank you for listening, and thank you for coming, and thank you for inviting me here today. I appreciate you all.
Let's give Dr. Hyater-Adams another round of applause, please. Thank you so much, Simone. Those words, I'm sure, resonated with us and our students. If you are a student and would like to talk with Dr. Hyater-Adams afterwards, please remain here in the theater, and we'll have a talk back with her a little bit later on after the convocation ends. Over to Dr. Joshi.
It's now my honor to present Dr. Hyater-Adams with a token of our appreciation, and please come up and accept this award. We enjoyed your sharing of your narrative with us. I know it resonated with me, and I'm sure it did with many of you in the audience. So thank you so much, Dr. Hyater-Adams.
At this time, we ask that you would please stand and join me in singing Green and Gold, accompanied by the NJCU Musical Theater Workshop. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand as we sing our alma mater together. Thank you for attending today's convocation. We are grateful that you were part of the NJCU Gothic Night community. Please remain standing while Dr. Fran Moran leads the platform party, followed by the faculty and our recessional. Students who would like to remain here afterward will have an opportunity to speak with Dr. Simone Hyater-Adams afterwards. Thank you. Thank you so much for waiting and for staying. Let's give the multi-style strings a hand of applause, the ensemble. Thank you so much. That was beautiful. Thank you, Professor Martha Mook, Professor Dalio. Thank you both so much. At this time, if you would like to have a conversation with Dr. Hyater-Adams, please move forward. We're going to ask for the house lights, please. Students, come on forward. Feel free to ask your questions, or if you need to get to class, please feel free to exit. But don't be afraid to come.